Hello, it's Sean here. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are. It's 28th of October 2015. It's a PM race here at Victoria University again in Werribee, Victoria, Australia. So I headed out for a small crit this afternoon. D grade. So I took the win today, so I'm really happy with that. It's pretty much the stock standard start with this bike ride, or race it should be called. I class it a bit of a ride. So Barry here is doing a bit of an instruction stuff again. I'm not going to bore you with all the stuff that's happening here. So I ended up just sitting out the back here, off by myself. I let everyone drift past me. Today I decided a bit of a different strategy today. I decided that I'd sit back, relax, let everyone else do the work today. To be honest, I was actually feeling a little tired in the legs. Not sure why, but probably 3/4 of the way through the race, it's kind of when I started to feel a little bit decent. A little bit of wind today, but not as bad as this time last week. There's probably about, I'm taking a guess here, maybe 20 people in D grade today. Some newbies, some guys that have rolled around before, people that blew up during the race. Look, I wasn't really sure on who was in good form here. I had a look around to see what was going to happen. I actually thought this guy here, who I fixed up his number for him a little bit later, at 105, I just rolled past him, was going to do okay. I'm not sure where he ended up. Apologies, I don't know your name, so if you end up watching this video, sorry about that. 102 ends up going with the break a little bit later. Look, I won't bore you too much from this point of view. I'll ask you probably now just to, if you want to watch it, feel free, but really this is what's happened for the first at least of the 45 minutes that I've captured. That's one thing I need to point out also, that silly me forgot to reformat my cards in both cameras, so they end up stopping. I think they end up stopping around probably 5 minutes before the end, or a little bit less. So what you'll probably see is on the last lap, I'm chasing one guy down, which I end up actually getting him way before the finish line. But nonetheless, it's a bit of a disappointment. But nonetheless, I think the important part here is you probably want to watch, if you're interested, is me chasing the guys down and the power. So really, for me, the interesting part for me was I ended up chasing Barry down, and then also this guy. But I'll talk about that later. So I'll chat to you at about the 35-minute mark from there, and I'll give a bit more of analysis on how I felt and what I was doing. Chat to you then. here I've just decided to put the power down just a little bit, start catching 102 here. So the race has kind of unfolded. There's a bit of a breakaway. So there's 2 guys ahead of us here. We're the main group, really. There's probably about 6 of us, I think, or 5 of us. So Barry's a little in front of us, and then there's 1 guy ahead of him, which I was a little concerned about at this point in time. We're about 10 to 12 minutes away from finishing the race. So I really was wanting to see if 102 here was going to start reeling them in, and really just to conserve as much as I possibly could. So here we've got a bit of a side wind here. It's only very small, not compared to last week. It was pretty brutal. And then a bit of a tailwind as we turn left here onto the finishing straight. So he seems to be doing quite well. I was relatively okay here. As you can see behind me, a lot of people are just soft pedaling through here. This guy, I've not seen this guy race before, so I was a little bit unsure of his performance and how he was, but he seemed to be a little bit aggravated that I wasn't pulling any turns here. There's a shake of the head. I don't know why I wasn't pulling a turn, but that's racing, I suppose. I thought I'd play a different tactic today to see how I felt. So again, I was really a little bit concerned about the guys up the road now, and they were a little bit far from me. So I decided that, as you can see, there's probably only 4 people behind me. I thought, well, it's time for me to go. These guys were a little bit too slow. I better make a break. So I used this part. It's usually a little bit of a headwind here, plus a little bit of a bump in the road, as I call it. So off I went. Kind of do or die, I suppose. And all I could keep thinking of is this is just a repeat of last week, which I really didn't want to happen. This is Barry just here, so I've caught Barry pretty quickly. I thought, well, look, Barry hopefully can assist in getting us up the road a bit quicker. So this is a guy we're just passing now. He's from C grade. So he's blown up and just rolling around to keep the legs turning for a bit. Yeah, right now you can't see this guy. He's down the road. So this is the finishing straight. He's probably a good 200 metres in front of us, maybe a bit more. I'm still a little worried actually at this point. But nonetheless, the guys haven't come with us, which, like I said, I'm still a little concerned that they may come, and they may come real fast. So I really had to start. Again, I was just evaluating and seeing how I felt, and at this point, I was hoping that Barry could pull a turn. I was still pretty gassed after that little sprint that I did. He hasn't come around, which I thought, well, I've just got to keep going. I can't slow down and wait for Barry to pull a turn. So, as you can see, my heart rate's right up there. But I'm conscious that this guy's been sitting off the front for some time by himself, and that I didn't expect him to be out as long as he was by himself. So I really thought that at some point we could reel him in, but I was so concerned that I might blow up here. I'm kind of getting to my max, and I just kept my head down and just kept pedaling. Barry was sitting on. If he was going to sit on all day, then so be it. But he does end up helping me, I think, just around here. He just does step up. Not that I needed along here. I wanted someone to sit in the front or going around the bend. So we're still probably about 3 laps, I think. This is our 4th last. So Barry comes across now, which I'm thankful for. So we're probably 4 laps away now from the finish line. This is where I sort of made the break last time. Everyone came last time, and of course I had in the back of my mind that this is not what I wanted. But you've just got to do what you got to do. This guy's still up the road, and he's in for a win. I'm so glad that Barry's sitting up in front right now, because I really just needed that extra. I thought, well, I can't hang around too long, so off I went again, and really dug a little deeper than usual. See if Barry could come. Barry couldn't come with me, so he's gone. So now it's up to me. I've got to reel this guy in, and hopefully I'm still in the back of my mind thinking it's going to be difficult to wheel this guy in. I'm pretty gassed. I'm close to my max. I'm really not focused on wattage, or actually I wasn't even really focused on even looking at my heart rate. I just went by feel, and just hoping to God that I could wheel this guy in, reel him in. I really, it's funny, I was concerned, I'm still concerned right now that with, I think 3 laps to go, I think this will be at the moment, that I was not going to be able to survive out here by myself, and the group behind us were going to reel us in. So yeah, there we go, there's the 3rd last lap. So I really was just focused on staying as calm as I could, but also very conscious that the group behind me could possibly continue. So this is the guy in front of just here. So I wasn't, the 3rd last lap, I really was not too concerned that he was that far ahead of me. I felt like that I could still give a real good go over this little hill here to bridge the gap, because I felt that he really wasn't punching too hard. He was looking around all the time. Not that you could probably see this on the video just yet, but he was looking around all the time, and I felt like that I've still got something left in the tank to give, but there's always that time where you might hit that brick wall, and the day may be over very quickly. So again, trying to keep my wits about me. 2nd last lap now coming up. Ironically, down the back here, so now we're getting a bit of a tailwind here, and so I just really tried to stay. I actually was looking down this time. I think I recall looking down here, looking at my my Garmin, saying, all right, as long as I'm pushing not even wattage or heart rate, let's just keep the pace up around 36 to 38 Ks. I'm hoping that I'm doing that. If I can't, then whatever I can sustain for 34s, 35s, that may get me over the line here. So we've got 2 laps to go now. I felt now that he seemed to get a bit of a break on me here, and I was a little worried that he may have got an extra set of legs placed on him, and other fresh legs, or he's starting to freshen up a bit, whereas I was pretty gassed by now. He's still out there by himself. I just knew that this is the part that I was going to continue to push hard over that little hill. I make some ground here, which I thought, okay, great, he's sort of sitting up. I didn't continue on because I thought, yeah, we've still got 1 lap to go. I'm concerned. I'm starting to feel a little bit at ease. I think I looked around here to see where the guys were, and they weren't anywhere near me. I couldn't actually see them, so I'm thinking, okay, this is not too bad. But I remember last week how quickly they came up behind me. So again, I was very conscious of that. So I'm starting to reel him in a little bit here. I think this is again where he starts to make a little bit more ground on me, because obviously gassed a little bit hard over the little crest. Keeping my head down, just focusing on my cadence. Just making sure my legs are feeling quite loose. If I have to have a sprint with this guy, I'm not going to drill it too hard. I felt okay now. I looked around a couple of times as we go over the last time. The bell's rung. I'm thinking, okay, there's no chance now for the guys to catch me. I'll double check now when I get around this corner. And now I'm thinking he's actually made a bit of a break on me again. So I really needed to make sure I could catch him at some point. So I'll do what I did last time, and push really hard over this little crest, make a bit of a jump on him if I can, because he's been out there a long time. So I thought, right, this is the time where I need to get close to this guy, because if it's down the straight and if he's ready for a sprint. So he's looked around. I'm thinking, okay, he's set up a bit. I thought I'll just, since he's set up a bit, I'm going to let him go a little bit, so I can just pull around him a little bit beforehand. So that's the end of the video.